Jeez, I'm like already freezing up.
You're freezing up right now?
Yeah.
Why are you freezing up?
I just don't know how to start it.
Sorry, it's like the like stress just I had to like leave my body really fast.
That was like an exorcism. That was like an actual exorcism that I just watched you perform on yourself. Welcome to Logic Film Company's debut. What are we calling this? Like a vlogcast? It's a podcast, but we record it. You want to just call it that?
I don't want anything to do with that word.
What?
Vlogcast. I think it's disgusting.
All right. Well, whatever this is, it's the first one. So,
Yay.
Welcome. So I'm Kevin Turner. This is Mackenzie Cushine. We are here to be really dorky right now. Beta. We are here. This is Logic Film Company's. It depends on how you go about thinking about films, but our film canon, if you will. But this is either our fifth short film. Some in the company call it our second.
Well, because I mean, we technically call the other ones like micro shorts.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So if you call them micro shorts, this is really our second short film, Beta. Uh-huh. But then if you count everything that we've done, this could be considered like our 11th short film. If you took all the Honestly Ever After.
All the episodes?
Episodes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
When did you come up with those numbers? I was really kind of wondering.
I did a lot of preparation for this.
Did you?
You're going to find out that that's a complete lie.
Yeah, I already knew that.
This is not rehearsed. Shock. I think that's right.
I can't verify.
Okay. There's five episodes in Honestly Ever After. We've got Hear Me.
You're going to make me do math right now, like on camera?
Hear Me, Knock, Story Giver, Buddy Bear. That's 4. Beta. So that's 5 plus Hear Me. And yeah, that's 11. Oh, thank you. I win this one. Anyway, we're here to talk about Beta. The reason that we're doing this is because we thought it would be something a little bit more interesting than doing like a typical behind the scenes, which we have coming up. But Instagram posts that come up, you see a poster, you see a trailer of sorts. And we thought it'd be a little bit interesting to have kind of a little conversation back and forth with two people that were there for pretty much every step of the way. I can't think of anything that I did that you weren't involved in.
We did take breaks. Thomas, I had sub in for me a couple times, but
other than that, we pretty much went through this entire process from the conception of Beta up until when we press submit all together. So we thought, well, let's just chat about it and have some kind of a dialogue about what goes into making a short film. And so I think that what we've decided, this might change after things get rolling, is that we're going to kind of record this, talk about this all in one piece, but then kind of break it up into little segments so it's a little bit more palatable. So that's
we understand that people don't want to just hear us and see us all day.
I don't know why that is. I think that they should want to hear us.
Kevin loves to talk, and we understand that. True. But I not so much, so it's okay.
Anyway, so that's exactly what that's the plan at this point, and to take all of our questions that we've had from different festivals or different social media questions from our cast and crew, everyone, we just kind of thought, let's go ahead and put it all together, ask those questions, or answer those questions, talk about our process along the way, and then have this just kind of sit alongside some of our other BTS videos and whatnot that go along. So in any case, welcome again. What are we calling this? Producer's Corner?
I think that's a good idea. Okay. And we're the producers. Okay. We're
It's
against a wall.
It's a corner, I guess.
There are corners in this building.
Yeah. That sounds good to me. Okay, Producer's Corner for now until we come up with something better. And if there is something that's better, it's going to show up right here.
Nothing showed up.
So let's talk a little bit about short films. Mackenzie, what is the process of a short film? Why do we create short films to begin with? And then, take us kind of through the beginning to end of creating a short film.
I mean, whenever you word it like that, it's kind of, there's multiple answers you can give for that. So, I mean, my take on a short film is you have this idea, you want to see how it works.
There's a microphone.
There is a microphone, and I touched it, so I'm sorry.
We'll find out later if that was a problem.
I will not speak with my hands. Anyway, back to the question. I'm never in front of the camera. Welcome.
I know. This is so awkward.
Oh, back to my question.
We want to be over there with Thomas.
Yeah, I don't like this.
Anyway, sorry.
We should have a Thomas cam just in the darkness over there.
No, he's not even paying attention. He's eating Doritos right now, so.
Such lies. Just blatant lies. Anyway, back to the why short films exist. For me, it's mainly you come up with an idea. You want to see how it works before you put this entire budget into it, before producers can see it and give you a budget for it. So there is that aspect of, let's see it, test the script, see if it's any good, see if it's accepted. But there's also that aspect of, okay, yeah, we are really proud of this and we want to get a budget to be able to make a full movie, like a full feature film. And in order to do that, you need to bring it to festivals and like show it around and give it to producers and other directors and say, like, this is my work. What do you think of it? Do you think it can be worth anything one day? You know, a lot of films started out as short films. So that's what I really look for it.
I kind of look at it like the music industry. I think a lot of people understand that a little bit more than maybe the filmmaking industry. Filmmaking seems so distant out there, like, and in the music industry, there's a lot of ways of being discovered, or you know, you can make a demo, you know, before you make an album, or you can finance an album, you make a, you know, EP or whatever a shorter version of it. Or you can go to music festivals, you kind of get a little bit of an underground following, with your band and playing concerts, and then maybe you're involved in a big festival. And, you know, there's different ways of going through that. So short films, it's kind of a couple of things. Really what we're doing is we're exercising our talents and our skills a little bit. You know,
it's true. It does help being on set for shorter projects because you get to, one, if you have a shorter amount of staff, smaller staff list, you get to have different hats to wear during set time.
Which we all did.
You know, you get a little bit of time on camera. You get a little bit of time, you know, like how Thomas was able to work on sound, but other people were able to step in. If we had interns on set, that was the time to learn.
Right.
You know, you get to have so much experience in such a little time. So I think that's what really helps.
Well, and I mean, I think you go through with our micro shorts, you know, even smaller amount of people, but you get to wear so many hats, and then it's a quicker time to go from beginning to end. Filmmaking is such a long process that, you know, if you start out making a feature film, a full-length feature film, it could take you years, and then all that learning that you do is all done in that, you know, in that long amount of time. But it's a long time before you get to reset and learn from your mistakes and redo that. And so a short film, that's kind of it's a skill builder. The other thing it is it gives you an opportunity to kind of exercise your style. You know, what is a Logic Film Company short? You know, what is the narrative like? What is our cinematic style? And then it gives you opportunity also to network with more talented people than you. And so I think that, you know, along the way, like for example, Beta, we had a cinematographer that was, you know, extremely talented.
Shout out Joel.
Yeah, shout out. We our composer, you know, we had one.
Shout out Emiliano.
We had one for Hear Me, and now we had a different one for Beta. We're building our portfolio. So a short film is, you know, that's kind of, there's a lot of different reasons why you do it, but I think the biggest one is we just don't have the budget for.
This is true.
Yeah, I mean, we ultimately we want to be making feature films. That is the ultimate goal, is to get to that point. And whether or not it's Beta moving from a short to a feature, or one of our other ones, or a completely new one, we've at least had that experience and kind of know. And I feel like every short film that we've done together, we know it's a lot quicker getting to the end goal. We kind of know what is coming. We've had that experience, and so it's a little bit less, I don't know, kind of murking, wading through the waters type of things and trying to figure everything out. So
that's true. I mean, we also do kind of have our own shorthand as well, just
right.
Us too. So I think that also plays into like how fast we get when we're on set, and a lot of people ask like, "What are you guys talking about?" And you're like, "Just hold on, like,
Right.
let me just do this really fast." Like, we have an understanding,
right? And we get quicker. We kind of have a better understanding of what our end goal is. It's not just about doing things quickly, but we have a quality expectation that we learn throughout it. So that's why we do short films. What is the process from beginning to end, starting with, we have a writing team all the way to pressing submit?
Okay, so I break it down into 3 categories, right? You have the pre-production, production, and post. In pre, you have obviously creating your script, and then you meet with your team and see how that script goes over. A lot of the times you bring us scripts, just kind of like stories, right? Just little synopses type log
Many
lines.
of which they end right there.
And I go,
Yes.
I think we can do a little bit better than that, Kevin.
We've surrounded ourselves with people that really humble us, and Mackenzie is one of them. She's able to really, cut through all the crap and that's good. I love that.
There's no reason to finance mediocrity.
Yeah, and it's not just you.
Right.
Right. We've got, usually I would say the way a Logic Film Company script would go would be, it's written, there's a treatment or at least an idea that's approved, and then it gets read throughout and nitpicked even more. So
right. So once we land on like a locked script, then it goes into, okay, what do we need to make the script come alive? What are the locations? What are the props that we need? Who are the actors? How many people on set do we need? Are there any background characters? Are there any cars? Is it a time period piece? Like those are all the things that you need to look for. And then once you have all of those things identified in your script, then it goes into, okay, what's our budget? How much do we want to spend on these props? How much do we want to spend on our cast, our composers, everything like that.
Right.
It all goes into, before you can even press record on your camera, you need to have all this created. It's like if you want to create a set, or if you want to go into a set that's already created.
Right. And for those who don't know, that pre-production is typically the longest part. Like it can take years at big studios for something to get its way through development. For us, I think part of this was COVID related, but since the writing of the script at the start, it was almost a full year before we actually press record.
Right. So, you bring that up, right? It was supposed to be filmed in March of 2020, right? We pushed it to November of 2020 because of COVID. So do you think if we hadn't had COVID pushback, do you think it would have been as good as it was?
No.
No?
No. I think that it forced us to have a longer pre-production. And so, dealing with, what we're talking about now is in pre-production, there are diminishing returns, but I think that it really made us realize how, not that we didn't know this before, but like having that much more time to sit with it and really plan gave us a lot more depth of understanding of what we needed in order to create a better script. So, okay, so we got pre-production, then what's next?
So after our pre-production, we have everything ready. By your sense of pre-production being done, did we already cast?
Yeah. We'll get to all this later. I'm just in general.
Okay, so just general.
What's the part
ready?
of?
Here we go. After pre-production is production.
Weird.
Wow. So then in production, you obviously have your set, you have your cast, you have your crew. You obviously then get to dictate who, not like you're a dictator, but people fall into their place of where they belong on set. You have your director, your assistant director, your director of photography, sound, all the people on the list.
Long list, yeah.
Of course, for us, we obviously wear multiple hats, so it is just kind of like which hat are you wearing
with
at that moment.
COVID, not that we want. Obviously, that's a big part of it, and we'll get to that. We keep saying we'll get to that later, and then we talk about it. But with COVID, we were kind of forced to keep it to like.
I think we only had like 11 people.
Yeah,
allowed
there was
on
11
set.
people on set, and we tried to keep it to 10. That was kind of the recommended amount of people. So. Normally, obviously, big productions have more, but we did have to consolidate a lot of jobs, which we'll talk about later. Doing slating and assistant directing and all the
and producing and watching the interns and
yeah.
But anyway, so you have your production, you are on set, you press record, get everything you need, and then your production is done. That's your time on set is production. And then you take all that footage that you've had, put it into your computer, into your editing software, and then that starts your post-production process. So for us, it went into, okay, let's look at the dailies, which is just this is raw clips of everything that we had.
Right.
We all sit down, all the producers, we sit down and we examine them. We say, okay, this is not what we want. This is the shot that we want, but this shot does not work with that shot
And
because
so
they're doing
much
something
goes
else.
into that, like performance.
Right, they had something weird behind them.
Yeah, a fly comes in the middle
Yeah.
of it, like it just, or sound. Sound can ruin a shot. It's not the end all because you can fix that a little bit, but
Right.
anything can. Yeah, the camera gets bumped or something.
Right, or like just like the settings were wrong for
Right.
that one, but like she was an amazing performance there, and but like, okay, well it didn't work.
Yeah.
Next shot, let's go. You know, you can't really cry. You can't like really settle for things other like get yourself worked up, I guess is what I'm saying, in dailies, because it's there's no point, especially for beta. Like we couldn't go back to set, you know. Like,
Yeah, that was
let's
it. We
work
had
with
that
what
was
we have.
all we had.
That's it. You can't do it over again. You know. Also, we don't have the budget to bring them back. The set we only rented for that couple of days. You know, and we had already set the place back,
Yeah.
so there was no way.
Yeah, that was what we got. And I mean, credit to everyone on set, the continuity and Joel being amazing at what he does and our actors we got through so many shots in the 2 days. It was a little bit 2.5 days that we shot. And then we did a couple insert shots, but there was a lot that we covered all at that one time. And so, it's a chaotic time, but it is the shortest of the three because then we move into post-production.
Right. So then that post-production, after looking at your dailies, you decide which shots work best for you guys. Go back into editing. Then you fill in your sounds that you need and all your transitions and how you want the film to feel. You have your composition
Score. Yeah.
You have that in there. You have everything, ADR, everything. And then that gets pushed out to us, obviously the group. And then we also have like the testing groups.
The screenings that we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So screenings can be, usually it's a producer screening first. We'll start because we know what we're looking for. And if it doesn't sit well with us, because
It's not going to sit well with others. Though.
Right. Because we understand it on a different level. And it's also, as an editor, I edited the film, you get kind of numb to it. Like things don't.
That is so true. And I don't think people understand that, because I know for me personally, whenever we're done with our festival circuits, I'm done with this film. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Before we even start, we're done with it. Like, it's like,
I've done so much work into this. Like, I'm tired.
Right.
And people are like so excited. You have to like, okay, yes, you're right. This is exciting.
Yeah.
You have to like work yourself out of that numbness because you're just so ingrained in that. So I think that's something that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and just to go dig a little bit deeper in that. I mean, the reason that it's numb is just that you've heard the same thing over and over, and we obsess over the smallest details, which is good. But then it just becomes like, okay, I've heard it. Like I could
recite it word for word.
But when you show it in front of, producers first, and then once that gets approved, then we show it in front of people who've never seen it before. And that's when
you get good stuff.
Yes. That's exciting because then you get to hear, especially if it lands. Now, if it doesn't, that sucks because, because everything you thought was landing wasn't. And there's definitely been moments of that. I think we had less of it in beta than we had in films before, but there definitely is that, that wasn't, we didn't get the laugh that we thought we were going to get. We didn't get the moments that we thought we were going to get with.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The end, the moments. Anyway, so we go through screening and then we go to the festivals. So once it's approved, what is a festival?
I mean, festivals, they range. There are award festivals in which they just watch the film and they give you awards on based on their preferences and their scoring system. There's also festivals in which they screen them, and you can go to auditoriums and other places where you can meet with other filmmakers And that's what I really like about festivals is the networking event of it all.
Right. Just a bunch of people who've done what you've done.
Right. And can really understand what you've been through with your film. And you can say, oh, this one part in the film, and they'll be like, yes, let's talk about lighting. Let's talk about your framing. Let's talk about this, instead of like, oh yeah, that was cool.
So you made a movie.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. You know, it's that in detail level that you don't really get with everybody else.
Right.
But yeah, festivals is where you show your movie.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's kind of twofold. The way that I look at it, you know, to go back to the music thing, it's kind of the same concept where, you know, you're there to network. You're there to, you know, you can showcase your work and someone can look and then say, wow, that's really cool, and want to hire you to do something more. That's not why we do it necessarily, but it would definitely be a great.
We will take offers.
Yeah. We're not necessarily saying no, but it really is kind of a celebration of filmmaking in all in one space, and everyone just kind of enjoys art together, which is really cool. But it can definitely lead to other projects. And I think that, I mean, what we did with Hear Me, which was our latest, or our short film, depending on, again, the definition.
It was like the first short film.
Yeah. What we did with that, we networked with other filmmakers, and then that helped us with Beta. You know,
it helped us a lot with Beta.
Right. And
understanding the weaknesses of Hear Me and taking that into consideration.
Right. And the strengths and all the things that we did well. People are like, I want to work with that group because they put out a good product. And so, you know, we were able to use that to kind of catapult and just continue to get better. So in any case, Beta is now in festivals.
Yep.
They're in, it's sort of.
It's Beta's, the award ones.
It's the award ones. So like they're, it's kind of like a critics corner, if you will, not a producer's corner. It's a critics corner. So we do have, we're testing it out on filmmakers at this point, and it's doing kind of well.
Don't jinx it.
At this point, as of this recording, I think it's won, I think we've submitted it to about 7 short film festivals, and it's won 4 of them. Like overall.
And like a lot of
awards, we have like
27
awards.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to take it with a grain of salt, because it's, you never know, you know, is that just happens to be those 4 or those festivals, or is this more universal? It's seeming like we got something good here. But, you know, time will tell. And so we're going to be entering into some of the screening festivals a little bit later. And, you know, hopefully the beginning of 2022, we'll be actually screening for public viewing at different festivals. And
right. So for everybody that's been asking us, 2022 is when you can see this film.
Right. Which, you know, we started this in 2019.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's been a process. So to kind of close out this section, what we're going to do from next section that we do on this podcast, which we're going to probably film this just right after.
Right
now. Is talk about some of those very specific things. We gave you a really big overview, and we'll get into the casting and the writing and the different pieces, and get a little bit more in-depth analysis, and from your perspective and my perspective, what that is. So
we will also have some guests joining us.
Yes.
Other crew members.
We'll probably
producers.
be in different clothes at that point.
But it's all based on Beta. You know, we want to give everybody's viewpoints in this. You know, we have very specific viewpoints whenever we look at things. And I know a lot of other crew members tend to look at things, you know, when we're off busy doing something else. We're like, well, actually, this also happened on set. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Excuse me? Where this?
I know. Yeah, the fact that Corey has lunch for us ready to go.
Right.
Yeah,
and I was just like, me texting while Aubrey's trying to like drink a Coke. And I'm like, okay. And then I was like,
the fact that, working with, anyway, we'll get to that later. So I'm all excited about it. Yeah. So anyway, all right. Well, we'll see you guys on the next one. Or how do we end? How do you want to end this?
Next time on Producers Goes. Not like that.
And I think we should end it exactly like that.
It just fades out.
Yeah, that's exactly what we should. Cut.
Can you cut, please?